You might say our topic today is the cinematic creativity of crowds. We're going to be talking about the way that digital technology is unleashing new forms of collaborative innovation in film, in games, and in animation. And we're going to talk about the way that those new forms are competing and converging with one another, and about the way that they are challenging and influencing the established film industry. In my field, journalism, we've been carrying on a similar Web 2.0 discussion for some years now. You all know the battle cry. Every user a producer, digitization is democratization. But for every techno-optimist out there, there's what Germans call a Zukunftspessimist, namely a skeptic. A lot of the same arguments arise when we talk about cinema 2.0. Does digitization mean the downfall of the gatekeepers? Does it mean the swan song of the studios and the auteur? How will new technologies influence the quality of the films that we see and of the stories that they tell? As we discuss in journalism now for some time, do the new digital technologies, do open source filmmaking, does the market power of games really promote innovation? Or are we talking about banalization, trivialization? And, to quote Hollywood, Jerry Maguire, where's the money? We may be in old Europe, but the gatekeepers have long since left their fortresses. The established film industry is listening to the digital avant-garde. And today's event represents just such an effort, an attempt to get beyond the polarities, to talk about strategic alliances and fruitful forms of cross-fertilization. We're going to do just that with some of the leading pioneers in the digital media, as well as with a master of the new science of Wikinomics. But first, I'd like to say a few words about our program. As you've seen, if you've looked at it, we do have two sessions. The opening session is devoted to the topic Film and Web 2.0. We'll hear from 3 speakers, and after a break, just before 4 o'clock, we'll reconvene to talk about film and games. And we'll hear then from 2 of the industry's leading producers who've both flown across the Atlantic to be with us. I'll be asking some brief questions, and you may do so as well. We will have time for questions after each speaker. We'd be very grateful if you'd say who you are when you ask your question, if you would also convey your thoughts in the form of questions, because as collaborative as we want to be today, we don't have a lot of time for statements. Our keynote speaker has written a much-praised work on Wikinomics that makes the sweeping claim that mass collaboration changes everything. It's been named one of the best business books of 2007, and its author's influence has been compared to no less a media guru than Marshall McLuhan. As founder and head of the international think tank New Paradigm, the author helps companies navigate the networked universe, and here to help us navigate, to rethink film and the film industry for the 21st century is Don Tapscott. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. And in the next 45 minutes, I'd like to try and convince you that this is a time of profound change to what is a film, but also to the nature of the film industry itself. And you may expect, given the topic, that I'm going to try and convince you that the traditional movie is toast, that it's history. That is the idea of a director and a producer orchestrating a team together to tell a story. And I'm not going to say that because there's nothing like a movie. Movies inspire, they awaken people, they educate, they anger, they motivate, they can even mobilize. And movies will continue to be with us in their traditional format for the foreseeable future, just like we still see a painting and read a book. However, due to some very profound changes that are taking place in technology, in demographics of a new generation of young people, in society with a social revolution based on social networking, and in the economy, new models of the corporation that are emerging, I'm convinced that we are moving into a cinema 2.0. Now, when you think about it, the movie and the basic narrative of the movie has been around a long time. It's actually 98 years old. It goes back to 1910, the full-length feature film. And there have been many, going back a long time. Sergei Eisenstein's great film, Battleship Potemkin, from 1926, where a filmmaker told a story. And that model has been around. But now we're moving into a period where we're starting to see some big changes. Changes to what is a film, as through interactive and digital technologies, what we call the Web 2.0, a film can become an experience whereby you can participate in the film. And I think the introducers were right to talk about the video game industry in some ways showing the way forward. Films becoming interactive, networked, and collaborative as an experience. But linked to that, the film industry is changing as well. The old way that we orchestrate capability is, if not being surpassed, added to it is a new way, based on the concept of collaboration, of the viewer becoming a user, of crowds taking place in everything having to do with how you get the funding for a film, how you put a film together, how you write a script, how you orchestrate capability to make a film, how you distribute a film, how you market a film. Basically, the entire supply chain in the industry. Now, what's going on here? Why is this occurring? Of course, this is a time of great promise, as there are wonderful new markets that are opening up, and it's also a time of some peril and some danger for the traditional industry, insofar that when new forms of media appear, entertainment dollars move towards these new models, and sometimes away from the incumbents and vernacular. And I think that we can see that taking place today, and I'll show you some data. 4 big drivers that are causing this change to occur. The first is the so-called Web 2.0, and this is very different from the internet of the dot-com period. See, the old web was this very limited network that you access through a PC tethered to a desktop. The new web is very different in a number of ways. First, you access it through what I call the thing. Billions, soon trillions of inert objects in our world that become smart communicating devices, and a lot of them that have screens. The door in my hotel room is a smart communicating device. The door has knowledge, and it's a new hotel that I'm staying at. The door probably has an IP address. That means it's an internet appliance. So I have a friend in Toronto. Everything in his house that has electrical power has an IP address, and all this stuff talks to itself. I have no idea what his refrigerator says to his toaster, but he was bragging that his fence talks to his sprinkler. And I said, well, why would you care? And he said, well, Don, if a burglar comes over the fence, the sprinkler is my first line of defense. So, but notice that a lot of these things have a screen. What is a movie screen? Well, a refrigerator is a movie screen, and that's a movie screen. But this is also a movie screen as well. Who's watched a movie on one of these little devices? Put up your hands, please. Okay. I'll never watch a movie on a 2x2 screen, I don't think. But my kids will, and they do. The concept of what is a screen is changing. That's a screen, and that's a screen, and that's a screen at a gas station that plays films. And you see short films, very short, in your elevator. And that's a screen. And, of course, that's a screen. This is a screen on a screen. This is a screen in Second Life where avatars watch virtual movies. That's pretty crazy. This is a screen. This is actually an old picture, but we're not